Hello, my faithful viewers, ladies and gentlemen. This is your humble host, Josh24214, and it's another Friday here. And for hopefully this week's episode, we will continue with My Hero Academia Chapter 230. And I'm just trying to relax for my Friday. So, I know this episode is going to be running a bit late, so I apologize for that. Sometimes we all have our conflicted schedules. So, last week we had a huge rehabilitation of insanity with Twice finally overcoming his behavioral block of not multiplying himself and going crazy. And it turns out he was the original all along. So with that, he is probably going to clone himself a giant clone army and start kicking ass out of the Quirk Liberation Army. I know that the chapter's been saying Meta Liberation Army, but I'm just still keeping it the way it is. So apologies for that. So let's dive into chapter 230. And strangely, 229 didn't had the chapter reveal. I think it was like it was supposed to be like one bad day, but still, I'm just saying. So let's continue where we left off, and we're on to the chapter's name in a minute. And we start out with chapter 230 on Twice explaining his quirk, and we find this is a flashback. So about we know most of his ability. It's just clarifying how his cloning himself works. So about my quirk double, it can turn one thing into two. It can multiply up to two things at once. And finally, anything created by it is weaker than the original. So, if he cloned himself from himself, that clone is weaker. Okay. By the way, and he has like a little diagram of talking about how the difference between the first and the second being weaker than the next in like a chibi form. Two is even weaker than one. Until one disappears, nothing new can't be created. And this is a flashback to when he first started, like a while back during before this arc began. And we see he was trying to clone the quirk removal bullets, but it doesn't work. And the clone copy of it was like, pop, and sorry, Shigaragi. I can't. Sorry, Shigaragi. I can't do it. I can totally do it, piece of cake, once all the conditions are met, the overpowered quirk. In order to use double, I need both data and the mental image. I don't have any data on this, and I can't form a mental image either. So I wouldn't be able to mass produce these bullets for the Yakuza, for the Mafia. Sorry for not being able to help. Sorry for always dragging everyone down. And we cut back to Monday. Hold on. Sorry about that. Needed to take care of something. And we return to Monday with Twice, and his narration continues. Everyone here was so kind enough to accept even me. For so long now, I've always wanted to return the favor. And we continue where we left off with Twice unleashing an entire army swarm of Twices. Let's go, Twice. It's time for a massacre! And all the Twice clones are just starting beating the living tar out of the shadow puppets of, beating up the shadow puppets and probably all the people who were converted and to serve the Quirk Liberation Army. Quick, we need to help Skeptic and all the loyal forces of, of Skeptic's faction just goes back to Skeptic, who's basically in the middle of the town. Be careful not to kill double. And we see at the bottom page 2 an entire World War Z zombie swarm of Twices. And he says, Unlimited Twice works. Sad Man's Parade. Bye bye trauma. And the title of the chapter is basically Sad Man's Parade. And yeah, the Quirk Liberation Army is not going to survive this. And the Quirk Liberation Army forces just try to fight back the swarms of Twice clones. Attack! Kill them all! Grr! And they're getting slowly overpowered by Twice. And Twice just... And oh my god, yeah, this has gone World War C at the bottom of page 3. It's like an entire ant colony of Twice swarms from an upper angle. Like, the entire area of that area is covered in Twices. Oh god, this is gonna turn into Day of the Deadpool here. And I can't believe Ryan Reynolds or Deadpool hasn't made a reference to Twice yet, strangely enough. And Destro sees all the craziness in his tower and he's like surprised about it. Look at that! He actually overcame his physical trauma. Mr. Mr. Skeptic, looks like your predictions were off. I must say, it's pretty rare to see you fail. And we get a slowly 4-panel shot of Skeptic just getting off his Shadow Clone's tray and just goes into the elevator and leaves the room. Fail? What are you talking about? Destro. I know his name is Reed Destro, but I don't care. He's the second Destro, so I'm just saying Destro anyway. I only failed once in my life. Just once. In all my life. Please, retract those words. It isn't a failure. It is just a cue for my next move. Ah, that's the spirit. That's the spirit. Suspect. Skeptic. Sorry. And we see Goran just sliding his chair over while they're having this conversation. Scooch, scooch, scooch. It's like, just moving to the window or something. You have a key, and we go back to Goran. He overcame his trauma. Y'all are some incredible doctors. Too bad. Once their shackles are gone, anything is possible for them. At the very least, you've lost your advantage in numbers. Ah, yes. But we have quality. Isn't that right? What the frick? How are you supposed to say this next one? AOP, APOC, Optocryphelia. Octocryphelia? What the frick? How do you pronounce that? APOC RYPHA. I'll have to check that before the next chapter. So I think Destro is referring to the Eskimo guy. And we return back to finally get back to Dobby versus Eskimo guy, who's got his name revealed, but it's a bit complex, but we'll have to stop the teasing for a bit and return to the utter insanity of Twice, the entire World War Z of Twice just swarming the entire town, and even Mr. Compress is actually surprised at this. Dobby, Mr. Compress, Twice is here to save the day. It's time for a massacre. Ouch! Move aside! Ow! Ow! Dobby! Coming resident. Hey! Tugga-chan's gonna die. Hey! Are you guys both alive? Compress. Let's kill him. Kill them all. Your savior is here. There's still plenty more to come. The savior is he. You're stepping on my feet. And Mr. Compress has only one sentence to bring it up. Can you just shut up? And that's going to be hard for Twice not to do from now on. What happened to your trauma? Blue, I destroyed it with the power of love and I got no idea what you're talking about, bud. Sounds like a hero story to me. Aren't you supposed to be a villain? If my friends are villains, it's only natural that I save them. You tell him. That's right. Damn, I'm so quotable. Oh my god, is it gonna get funnier? I don't have many friends. That's why they're all more. I don't have many friends. That's why they're all the more important to me. Oh god, this is gonna get annoying in later chapters and funnier. And head over. But before he could finish that sentence, some big ice wall shows up, and they get instantly destroyed. And Twice is even shocked about this. Other me's. Is this? Is this? And I think that's. And Dobby's just surviving the aftermath of that blast from Eskimo guy. Is this city famous for exploding ice? Why don't y'all got so much of it? And we see Eskimo guy just still hovering in the air of the platform of ice. I am pretty sure. I am pretty sure. I said that I can manipulate all ice. I see. I see now. I can also manipulate the temperature of ice. Okay, that's an interesting thing. And he's sending more of his ice downward into the hole. If I send some ice into the sewers, then lower its temperature, all the waters beneath us freezes and becomes my domain. Oh, that's not good. That's pretty bad. You shouldn't have done that from the start. It pisses me off. My ultimate goal of the Liberation Army is to establish a society where your social status is determined by the strength of your special ability. Simply put, powering up your ability is no different from survival. If you do not have a strong special ability, and with a lift of his hands he decimates all the Dobby clones, not all the Twice clones so far in just one swing. Why bother living? That's just sad. Die. You're the one who'll be dying here, wither in blue flames. Your body has not rekindled have been your body has been reeking of burnt flesh for a while now. Observing your opponent is to identify their limits. Is the Observing your opponent is in to identify their limits is a bare minimum. And judging by that peeling burnt skin of yours, you can't fight for very long, can't you? Your body can't stand your own flames. And Mr. Compress actually survived the ice storm, and now the entire Twice army is just flooding and turning into goop. And in one panel, we see Mr. Compress, one of the Twice clones, just giving the old thumbs up as he's dying. Okay, I see the reference to that. That's probably a reference from Horikoshi that he did like Terminator 2. That's a Terminator 2 reference. And also, one of the Twice clones is dying, but his ass is in the air, just showing his ass? What? This AoE attack. He's even he's even taking out his own guys. In any case, that ice guy, he's definitely an outliner. I like I like for him to take on not Giga for us, but Dobby. And strangely enough, we cut back to the Mad Doctor. That's quite a cheap strategy if you got there. If you all died here, it'll make All for One look bad. So the Mad Doctor presses a button, boop, and we cut back to the woods, like buried in the ground for a bit. Hey now, your master's successor has been working hard at the expense of his sleep. Giga. And we cut away to a forest, and 1 minute this forest, boom! Giga comes out of the ground, and he's awake. And yeah, he's not supposed to wake up for another hour, so yeah, that's not good for both the Liberation Army and the League of Villains. So yeah, Giga's finally woken up and he's gonna march all the way to the city and probably start just wrecking both sides stuff. So yeah, that's gonna be crazy. Slam. A great force awakens, and with it comes disaster. Chapter number 230 end. And that's the end of the chapter. And yes, I know that bit about Dobby's not able to handle the flames. Yeah, at this point, yeah, I think I know what Horikoshi is doing. He's just wants to keep teasing like the truth about Dobby is basically a Todoroki at this point because I think one of Shoto's brothers, like I think the firstborn son, didn't his body can't handle the fire quirk. And yeah, at this point, Horikoshi just keeps bashing that teasing in. He's just teasing at this point. I think I can sum that whole thing up in just one clip. Yeah, he's doing that now. He's been doing that for quite some time. And pretty much we already know what's basically going on with Dobby. So yeah, hopefully we'll get into the backstory next time for Dobby before Giga shows up and start wrecking shit. But pretty most likely that's not gonna happen. If Horikoshi's just gonna tease us more and more, and eventually he'll tell us the truth, he's just gonna keep doing that. So until then, I'll see you all. This has been a fun chapter, and there was some really good laughs with Twice just being himself. So yeah, I can see that. I think we're getting closer to the end, a little early, like an hour off, and Giga's probably going to take his time marching all the way over there, and we're probably going to get started into the third act. So either I don't think Horikoshi's not going to tell the whole story about Dobby being a Todoroki. I think he's going to save that for last, or he's not going to bring it up. Because he's just basically teasing and just keeps doing that over and over again. With people pretty much already know what's going on at this point. You might as well start telling the truth. And I think Dobby's backstory will probably be told like second to last. Maybe we probably stay with Mr. Compress and Spinner, and then we'll get to Dobby. But that's probably my own opinion. So until then, I'll see you in chapter 231, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.